This is me running from the rainbow community after calling the blue-haired girl she instead of Office Jet Pro 8720 printer series.
Transphobes will say the same joke for approximately 15 years, the exact same joke where they just swap out like one word for about 15 years and think that they're going to be met by some explosion and people raging instead of just sighs of disappointment and exhaustion at the fact that they've been using the same joke for 15 years. It's just getting old. It's old and tired. This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are going to be returning to r/onejoke, the place where conservatives still haven't found a new joke and they're still using the same one after all of these years. It would be impressive if it wasn't so embarrassingly sad. Very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to mention the YouTube members and patrons. You guys get an extra video every single week for as low as £1 a month. That equates to about 25p per video. So if you want to help support the channel, please do consider it, as it really does help. Also, I will be live in two videos. I will be live in 2 hours as of this video going up over at my Twitch. So please do come along, as it's always a good time and I love to see you guys there. Also, if you notice, one of my piercings is flat. It fell out in my sleep, and to stop it sealing up this morning, we didn't have time to faff about trying to get it back in. We've poked it in through the top just to stop it sealing up. So we will be taking it out and putting it in the correct way, but we didn't have time. So for this video, it's going to be flat and weird because it's the wrong way in my nose. Anyway, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? Trans cashier. That'll be $25. Me. My $1 identifier's a $25. A trans cashier. The weird thing about this is that they had to censor the word trans. Is that something you have to do on TikTok now? You have to censor the word trans? Or have they deliberately done it to try and avoid trans people stumbling across their content? They're like, oh, no trans person will find my content because I've censored the word. I don't understand why they've done that. Using the gender neutral bathroom to take the biggest shit of my life. This is a funny example of the one joke. This is a usage that doesn't harm anyone and is just a funny play on the words. This one we like. I feel like the one joke it's like 90% transphobes who make the same joke over and over and over again because they don't understand comedy, and 10% people making shit jokes. I don't know, I find them really funny. Unpopular opinion, but it's totally valid to feel mad, upset, and frustrated if someone misgenders you, even if you don't pass, especially if you've told them your preferred pronouns.
Why are you labeling them as a person? Do you know what a person is before you label it? Did you get that permission to call them a person before you typed?
Now, notably here, looking at this post, they haven't used the word person once, so the comment doesn't make any sense, even in that regard. Like, it's a one joke where they're like, oh, you assumed someone's species, but they haven't in the original post done that. So like the joke doesn't even make sense. It doesn't relate to anything that's been said. They're just doing it for the sake of doing it because they like have nothing else going on. I don't get it. I don't.
Asking for a friend. If Epstein revoked his citizenship and turned into an illegal immigrant, would liberals kick and scream like they have been doing when the illegal chomos have gotten detained this year? No, because he's white. What if he identifies as Mexican? Do you get it, guys? But the identify. What if he identify as Mexican? That's really funny, guys. That's the same joke.
Also, if Epstein was an illegal immigrant and did exactly the same things that he did now, we would be calling for a trial. You know, like the thing we're calling for everyone else is that you're attributed the right to a trial. That thing that isn't being given to a lot of immigrants where they're just being deported without a trial. No one's saying, oh, criminals should be allowed to stay in this country no matter what, right? They're saying that those criminals should be given a fair trial before they're removed from the country. Because funnily enough, if you don't give someone a trial and you just call them a criminal, you can kind of do that to anyone. And that's a violation of that person's rights because they might not have committed a crime. Like, the fact of the matter is, Epstein should have been given a fair trial, whether he was an immigrant or not. That's something that should have happened. He also shouldn't have been murdered in prison, and that's something that happened, right? Like, he was a horrible, sick person that did horrible, sick things with a lot of people, including Donald Trump. And those people should all be held on trial. They shouldn't be, you know, kicked out of the country with no trial or sent to prison or executed with zero trial. That's not how the justice system works. And it works that way for people that are born in the country. So why does it not work that way for people who weren't born in that country, right? I'm an AI artist and I have art block. Yeah, let's keep it that way. I identify as a real artist. Pick up a pencil, bud. Do you get the joke though, guys? They said they identify as a real artist. Wasn't finna even be rude, but you support abortion being banned. I identify as a woman with a uterus and morals, so yes, I have opinion. And judging by the fact it takes a man and woman to create a baby, yes, us men have an opinion. He couldn't even keep up the act. I identify as a woman with a uterus, and then proceeds to call himself a man. Like, good job, buddy. You couldn't actually keep up the act, could you? You couldn't even hold it up for one comment, for one sentence. You couldn't keep up the act. I had a dream Taylor Swift came out as non-binary and made everyone call her Taylor Swift. And for some reason, Tyler, the creator, dropped a diss track on her called Taylor and I woke up in a cold sweat, I swear. I think this one came up in a previous video of mine, possibly a YouTube member video. What's it called? The dream one, like Thomas the something engine, Thomas the Planck engine. That's what the subreddit's called. I did a YouTube member video on it, and I'm pretty sure this came up in that video, and I just find it really funny, so I thought it should go in this one as well. I saw it come up in one joke, and everyone was like, this is really funny, and I was like, it is really funny. So I thought I'd include it, because it's just Taylor Swift and Taylor is just... It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and I love it. You support them because supporting each other is the only way y'all do anything. They, them, because individually you're worthless. Now, like, it's a bigot. I get that. But also, that's a good insult. I'll give them that. It is the one joke, and they are a bigot. But, like, this is the first time I've seen a bigot use an insult in this way that, like, actually is a good insult. Like, they have achieved that in this one. I've got to give them credit for that, because, like, that's kind of a devastating insult. Like, a round of applause, because they're a bigot, but also they're using the insult in an inclusive way, but in a way that's kind of devastating and just, yeah, I gotta give it to them. I mean, trans girls are kind of like femboys. They just identify as a woman. In fact, I identify as a plane. Guys, do you get it? They identify as a plane. Get it? Isn't that a funny joke? They're like, oh, you mean that someone identifying as another thing that human beings are is the same as me identifying as an inanimate object? Oh, I'm so funny. No one's ever thought of this before. Like, do they think that no one has heard this joke? Like, they're the only person on the internet that's heard this joke before. It's going to be a completely unique and funny joke to everyone else. Or, like, because they changed the objects that they're referring to, like, oh, this is gonna make people laugh. No one's ever heard identify as a plane before. Like, do they think that it's just some unique take on the joke? It's the exact same joke. And what if you're bi? You turn tri. And what does it mean to be tri? I don't know, it's one more than bi. Men, women, and attack helicopters. Guys, they said the thing! They said the thing! What? But throw out the, you know, the disco lights, the music, the balloons, the party poppers. They said attack helicopter. They said the thing. Like, it's even less original. They haven't even tried to add a different object to it. They've just said the joke. The original one joke. Just the attack helicopter joke. That's amazing. That's amazing. What year is it? Are we living in 2015? We in 2015 right now? Because that's incredible. That's incredible. Was this posted this year? Or did they get sent from the past? Like, were they in a time machine and they're like, oh, I bet no one in 2025 has heard this joke from 10 years ago. Probably because it's easier to think about things going from left to right than right to left. I don't know, it just sets in that direction. Let him be. Did you just assume someone's gender? Edit, I was trying to be funny. It's not that deep. I mean, it isn't that deep. At the end of the day, you were trying to be funny and you weren't funny. That's why you got the downvotes. It isn't that deep. You weren't funny. That's it. That's the whole reason. No one's like throwing a tantrum and going in depth into how transphobic this was and how terrible of a person you are. You got downvoted because it was an unfunny joke. That's as deep as it goes. And the final post. I'm ending on a funny one here, which is go Go piss girl. I mean they. Thank goodness they got the they in there. Go piss girl is something that is used by me and multiple people I know, right? Leo is a trans man. We use go piss girl. I'm non-binary. We use go piss girl. I have a younger sibling who's also non-binary. We use go piss girl. It's become one of those like almost gender neutral terms in its usage amongst my inner circle, you know? Like, don't get me wrong. Someone that I don't know and I don't know how they prefer being called or if they don't want to be called girl, I'm obviously not going to use it with them because they're not part of my inner circle and that context isn't there, right? Similar to like saying things like dude or bro or guy. I use them in a very non-gendered context with me and people in my inner circle. However, someone I don't know might not be comfortable with that, so I wouldn't use it in that way, you know? But this is a very similar thing to that vein in terms of how it's used. Just go piss girl. But anyway, that is where I'm going to end the video, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. But a huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support me. All of your names are up on screen right now. It genuinely helps so much, and it genuinely means so much. So thank you to everybody that does. Also, if you want to help out the channel a little bit more, consider maybe hyping the video. That's something you can do on mobile. Not everyone has access to it yet, which is annoying, but if you do have access to it, you can scroll down to the comments section, swipe, and you'll have a hype button. I don't know why YouTube has decided that it's random in how many people get it rolled out. I don't have access to doing it on this channel. Like, you can hype my videos. This channel cannot hype people's videos. Weird. My music channel can hype videos. I don't know why. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end the video. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.